Hi, I'm Sarah Floor, and welcome to yet another video. Part 2 of Wuthering Waves' 3.0 story is out now, and I want to give my thoughts on it. Let's get into it. It's better than 3.0 Part 1, where 3.0 Part 1 felt like a companion quest. Part 2 felt more like a proper story. However, there is an admittedly very goofy part of the story and some presentation issues that keep it from being amazing, but for what we got, it was really good. Let's talk about Mornier. Her role in this story is surprisingly subdued compared to Lene, but even more important. She's with us to investigate the Roya and why they suddenly chose to withdraw from the new solar ceremony, as well as the strange visions Rover has been getting. And while she isn't present when we learn the truth, she is integral to opening up the Fraxidus' role in the story. She discovers that the Fraxidus were creating artificial void storms and used a disgruntled Roya tribesman to that end. Having him perform field tests to create artificial void storms that affected the Soloskin and the Bjarder Woods, to the point where even the Heliogyre was corrupted. Mornier is a character that isn't burdened by her past regarding her being crippled or different from other people. She's instead burdened by the fact that the source of her inspiration is treating her like a stranger. Parallels have already been made between her and Frolova by many people, so I'll keep it short, but she's like her if Frolova never succumbed to disdain and hatred. Mornier is very passionate, and that passion leads her to making reckless decisions. When Hyvatia stops working and the reactor drive comes crashing down to Lahai Roi, she nearly sacrifices herself to replace the reactor drive and restore the artificial sun of the region. She went so far as to both overclock and overtax her legs, leaving her bedridden after Rover rescued her. Unfortunately, we don't get to know enough about Mornier in this quest. I wish we knew where her passion and determination came from. Was it something related to her childhood? Where's she from? We still don't have the details, but it can be inferred that Rover played an important role in reinforcing Mornier's passion 20 years ago. Lene also appears in the story and contributes to the capture of Warren, a traitorous scientist in the Space Trek Collective, whom you may remember being the main scientist trying to get Lene expelled. Lene plays a supporting role, which is good, and she doesn't disappear off the face of the planet like with poor Chisa. Lene doesn't get any crazy action sequences or anything like that, but she is integral to exposing the Fraxidus agent working in Lahai Roi. Speaking of Warren, his reveal is kind of goofy. Mornier just throws accusations about and drags Lene into it, and after the story, he's apprehended. It was obvious that he was a traitor, but I hate how blatant it was. No evil monologue, no explanations, no last-minute surprises, nothing. It was open, shut, and handled off screen. Lame. Another problem I have with the story was the uneven set piece at the climax of the story. It was presented very well. The reactor drive is crashing down onto Lahai Roi, and Rover and Mornier are desperate to replace it with a new artificial sun. The entire sequence of Rover on the bike was handled very poorly. It was pretty janky, jumping from platform to platform, which is surprisingly sloppy work from Kuro Games. The story ends with Luke investigating Hyvatia, wondering why it didn't activate in time to stop the reactor drive. It is there we get more hints at the greater plot and who is involved. We see the Grand Architect using their shape-shifting abilities to confound and confuse everyone, but Luke seems to have an idea of who he's dealing with. We're also told by Mornier that she saw Amiath protect her when she was on the reactor drive, so the greater plot is starting to unfold at last. 3.0 Part 2 was great, with a lot of lore on the Roya, and the major players of Lahai Roy are beginning to make their entrance. Mornier is a great character, and I hope this isn't it for her, as we haven't learned as much about her as I'd hope. Anyway, what do you guys think of 3.0 Part 2? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.